John Patten. I kind of want to respond to both of those. I saw the article in the U.S. News and World Report. It was a pretty good article, and overall it was fairly accurate. My problem with the U.S. News and World Report was misattribution. 3 people were quoted in the article as just general random citizens, and they were anything but. One was a planning commissioner. One was one of the political fundraisers for the CQG, and another is a board member, I believe, over at the nonprofit Senior Friendship Center. I don't know why U.S. News and World Report did not attribute those people by their titles, but by not doing it, it spun the story in a slightly different way. I don't think the story would have been all that different had they done the attribution, but it was wrong. And it was kind of stealth, and that was my upset with the article, was because of the misattribution. They were using official sources and making it look like it was a man on the street. That wasn't true. Speaking of stealth, as Herb mentioned, letters to the editor. There was one in the Herald Tribune today from a Tammy Lindemuth, another one about a week ago from Stephanie Tansey, both claiming to be Venice citizens and both in favor of the Wal-Mart. Tammy, in particular, stating she needs a place close by. Tammy is Mike Miller's personal assistant at Waterford. She lives in South Venice, and she would have to go past a Wal-Mart in order to get to the Wal-Mart in North Venice. In fact, she actually lives closer to the Wal-Mart in Northport. Stephanie Tansey is, I understand, the head of bookkeeping. She does live within the city, off by Laurel Road. Neither one of these letter writers identified themselves by their title or the fact that they had a commercial representation in that. Okay, that's fun and games. That's just political. I don't expect you to get too bent out of shape like that. Mike Miller's using everything he can to get this before, and that's part of politics. What shouldn't have been part of politics, though, was what happened at the Planning Commission meeting. That was a total abusive process with a staged parade and all of the protesters with signs and T-shirts. He knows better than that. And yet it was an organized effort with the handed out signs and the handed out T-shirts. That was a quasi-judicial hearing. Okay, and that's no different than being in a courtroom. And if he had done that in a courtroom, he would have gotten nailed for contempt. They trashed the place. They left the signs all over the place. I'm told the bathrooms were a mess the next day. There was about $250 worth of police presence that was required. Not to mention the cleanup bill the next day. That was an abuse. And Mr. Miller, for using that kind of those kind of stealth tactics and abusing the system and abusing a quasi-judicial process, I think it should be deeply ashamed. You want to state your case? You want to have your employees up here saying, hey, we need this Wal-Mart because we need these jobs. We think this growth would be possible. If they're identifying themselves as such, not a problem. And I have no problem with somebody coming up here and saying, look, I work for Mike Miller, and we've got some good projects, and I'd like to see this go forward because I'd like to see the Miller firm be secure. That's a valid concern. You know, nobody wants to lose their job. Nobody wants to see businesses go down the tubes. Just be honest about it.
Mr. Mayor, fellow council members, Mr. Anderson, City Manager Black, thank you for this opportunity. First, I think maybe we're taking a lot of this too serious, so I thought I would update you on some Tammy information for those that are interested. Tammy's actually moved from South Venice. She lives in Plantation, and she shops at the Wal-Mart at Jack Randon 41. Her mother, however, lives at San Marcos at 1050 Albee Farm Road. She votes in the city, lives in the city. She doesn't drive, and every Saturday morning, Tammy is a good daughter, like many good daughters and sons in Venice, visit their parents. And some days, for those that are interested, she shops at the Publix on Venice Avenue. The other days, she's driven up to the Osprey Wal-Mart, and occasionally she even takes her mother to Sarasota Square Mall. I could probably get into several other young people. I could talk about my wife's grandparents who moved from Indiana, who live at San Lino. I think we all know of people in Venice that aren't retired who help those that are retired, and I thank all of them. With that said,